Hey, Omer, welcome to the NTM Growth Marketing Podcast. I'm excited to be speaking with you today.
Hey, Andrew. It's great to be here. Really appreciate for the invitation. My first podcast. I listen to a
First
lot of
podcast.
podcasts. Yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts and I watch a lot of podcasts, but it's my first time joining a podcast. So, happy to start the first one with you.
What are some of your favorite podcasts you like to listen to?
I usually hear some about ancient history. I'm sort of a nerd in that sense. So a lot of ancient history about geopolitics, and the one recently there was one in Israel that was very a top favorite. It was a deep dive in, including psychological aspect of Harry Potter.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, so. I used my commute time to the office, and I listened to that podcast. It was riveting.
I love that. Well, the point of our podcast being 20 minutes is that this is very much a podcast to listen to on the way to work. So I think everyone's going to really enjoy some of the marketing insight we talked with you about today with your organization, Cognyte, and would love to start off the conversation and hear a little bit about what is your role at the company and what does the day in the life of Omer look like?
Okay, so I have two roles actually. I'm a product marketing manager for one of the product lines within Cognyte. Cognyte is a portfolio company, and my other task is business development or relations with other vendors, other companies that we can cooperate with. But my main role is product marketing. Um, Day in life, I think I listened to several of your past episodes. I think I'm your first B2G PMM
What
that
is
came online,
B2G?
business to government. We don't sell business to business and we don't sell business to customer. We
We did
sell
talk with Zen City. That might be business to government. So you might be the second one.
in the
Are they a
second
little
one.
bit
Okay.
different? Okay.
So we sell to governmental entities, mostly law enforcement agencies, state and local, um, military organizations, critical infrastructure, to a variety of organizations, but mainly in the governmental sector. So I think my day-to-day tasks and job is a little bit different from those of I don't know, B2B PMMs and so on. It reflects on how I run my campaigns. Can I even run campaigns? What type of info can I share with my customers? What type of info my customers can share with me? So it's quite different. We rely a lot on trying to get our audience to meet face to face. A lot of them are not accustomed to buy online. A lot of our solutions are, heavy or expensive. Nobody's going to buy them online. So the funnel of, of getting them from the top of the funnel of getting to know us and understanding that we have some expertise in that field, and getting them into a meeting, maybe a remote meeting, and then a face-to-face meeting. So it's a little bit different, I think, from what usually people think when they think about marketing. But I find it fascinating because of that challenge, because of that type of audience, and because they get to not only adopt tools from B2B and B2C, I have the privilege to adjust them, to tweak them, not to just use them as is. And I think that's one of the privileges that I have when I work in B2G.
So have you worked in a industry outside of B2G in the past? And how is this different from some past marketing experience of yours?
So surprisingly, no. I've been in the company for 3.5 years in Cognyte. Before that, I spent 18 years in the intelligence community. And I think that's another difference between B2B or B2C to B2G, because when you're talking about B2B, the main point is your marketing skills, right? It's, like in LinkedIn, it's, do you know how to do SEO? Do you know how to do digital campaigns? Do you know to run webinars? That's the type of skills people are looking for when they're trying to recruit you. When Cognyte recruited me, they didn't care. They said, well, you know the type of customers that we're going to sell to. You know the industry, you know their pain points, you know their challenges, you know the terminology that they are using, and that is more important to us than if you already came with marketing experience. And we also saw the other way around. We had some marketing people within the company had vast of experience from B2B and from B2C, and just couldn't find themselves within that ecosystem. So although it's my first marketing role, I come with, at least in this domain, in B2G, with quite extensive experience.
How did you build that type of marketing experience so quickly in 3 years?
Well, I can, I can pat myself on the shoulder and say I'm amazing, but I think Cognyte is a great school. There's willingness to learn and to teach you, and I think because of the sales cycle is so long, because I don't know what's the normal sales cycle for, I don't know, for let's call it a SaaS normal SaaS solution. I don't know, 2-3 months. I think that's the average cycle. Our cycle is between 18 and 24 months, the sales cycle, because of the complexity of the solutions, because in many cases, our customers doesn't come in a buying mood. It doesn't say, well, today I need a new IT software for my police department. It's not, nobody really comes, in the morning and says that. You need to explain to him that he has a challenge, that he has a pain point, that his existing solutions are not providing the insights or the data that he expected them to bring, or the results. And that cycle is so long that when I'm going back to Cognyte as a school for marketing, they're willing to invest in people because there's an understanding that it's not you lost that deal, you didn't lose the deal, you contribute to the deal or not. There is time to learn. And I think in that sense, at least in my experience, it worked. And I think also additional people that came with similar background to what I came with also managed to find themselves within the company and managed to gain that marketing skills or set of skills that are needed.
I want to talk about the sales cycle and how that influences marketing efforts a little bit deeper. A practical example that happened to me this morning is, our buying cycle might be 30 to 45 days. So it's more in that kind of B2B SaaS space you're mentioning. And someone mentioned to me earlier today, hey, right now is not the right time. I think 2026 could be right timing. And my mind is like, 2026? What are you talking about? 20 months from now, you think I'm going to remember who you are? So
I met
talk a little bit about the buying cycle and how that influences your marketing efforts.
It's funny you're saying it. I got a call from one of our account managers. He's working in the Asia Pacific region, and he called me and said, "Listen, Omer, I need you tomorrow. Tomorrow, I have a super important meeting with one of my potential customers, and I want to push forward for the deal." And I said, "Amazing! I'll come. I'll support you." But we sit at the meeting, and I present the solution. I also do some of the demoing of the solution. And at the end, I'm asking the account manager, I didn't fully understand. We're talking about booking for this year? He says, no. They will start the procurement process at the end of 2025. They will start the procurement process. So I said, so why are we stressing? He said, because if we're not doing it now, since it's a public tender, we'll miss the train to when he's supposed to ask for a budget, and then a few months later, it will get approved. So the sales cycle is super long, and I think beside the fact that beside the booking or the revenue issue, which you always look, always do forecast on what is about to come in, there is an issue of the touch points. Because okay, I presented to the customer, he liked what he saw. Will he remember it in 6 months? What he saw? Will he still be as excited as he was as when I presented it. So
Hmm.
I think that's one of the uniqueness of B2G, that we don't have a lot of touch points throughout the sales cycle, but each touch point matters. Because the next time I'll meet him, maybe it will be in a conference. One time after that, maybe the account manager will convince him that either we'll come to his site or he will come to our offices and we'll have another touch point. But that's about it. So if I didn't hit the mark and did a very good first impression about myself, about the company, about the brand, about the solution, about how the solution meets the challenge, about how the solution differentiates from the competition, there's a lot of areas to cover. Usually it's in a 1-hour session, not more than that. So the challenge is huge. Not like, I'm meeting a guy today, he liked it, he will buy it, he won't like it. Maybe I'll approach him in I don't know, 3 months, and I'll ask again. So it's a very long, there's a very long tail, and I think the marketing aspect is also, engaging with our account managers continuously. I just picked up the phone today with one of our account managers on a meeting we had in July, and I asked him today, do you think you need additional support for marketing to get him back to the table, to another meeting? And he said, no, it's a little bit close. It's only 2 months, but let's try. So the PMM position, I think the PMM position is always between product and sales. It's always a bridge between the two. But I think that in B2G, it's to the extreme. For example, organizational wise, I'm sitting within the product house. I'm not sitting within the marketing department. So also a marketing department, but I'm sitting within the product house. I'm sitting with the pre-sales, and I'm sitting with R&D, and I'm sitting with product managers. And we're working on the go-to-market together. We're working on the audience together. We're working on, is the specific feature in the roadmap will give us a specific differentiator with a specific competitor. And then I'm also with, facing forward to the account managers, to the sales force. And I'm meeting with the customers, and I'm traveling with them. So I think the PMM role in B2G, it's like in reverse. It has a lot more impact, although I might have other or less tools on my desktop to market.
I have a question around how you get in front of your ICP. So there's a book behind me in the purple and yellow called Day Trading Attention, which is really just about not caring about if you need to be on TikTok, social media, conferences. It's just where's the attention and be there. So how do you figure out where the attention is for the B2G space? And maybe you can dissect that in the online world. How do you figure that out? And then offline, it sounds like that's a big part of your marketing strategy too, which is good old fashioned handshake, meet at conferences.
Yeah, so I think, again, and I started with why I don't have more marketing experience. And I think our audience is looking genuinely and authentically to learn. I think when you're talking with police officers or intelligence analysts, it's not like they have a very open library on Google where they can search for the different trends. What is going in the world that is relevant to them? What are the new technologies that are relevant to them? It's not, they don't have access to that type of knowledge. And I think the way that we're getting the attention is not by pushing the product, in your face. No, what I'm pushing is my expertise. What I'm pushing is me in your shoes, because I used to walk in your shoes. I used to be an analyst. I understand the pains, I understand the trends, but now I have the privilege to sit down and write about it, and write ebooks and blogs and do webinars, and give you a digestible content that you can learn from, and it's free. I'm not saying you need to come to a meeting and at the end, I'll give you an ebook. No, you can access it all by yourself. The reason that we're doing it, the reason that why we're pushing so much content, and I think one of the reasons that you approach is, you saw me on LinkedIn, you know, pushing content out, but I'm not pushing content for the sake of content. I'm not pushing content in the sake of, hey, look at Omer, he's an amazing PMM. Once a week, you'll see a post about something, what I learned from LinkedIn in 5 steps or whatever. No, I'm pushing content that I think will be beneficial to the audience. And if the audience will feel that I'm an expert in my field, he will gain trust in me and in the company that I represent. And the intent part will grow. We're not, for example, we don't hold an army of SDRs, you know, doing cold calls and come to a meeting. And no, we will wait until you will have a very high intent. That will manifest either by you clicking, I want book a demo, I want to see a demonstration, or if you continuously are reading the things that we're publishing. If you got into our ebooks and you clicked on our videos and you got into our website and you stayed on the website and you went through the different pages, and I see that you have real intent, you're really interested in what we have to offer, then we'll set up a meeting. And even then, at the first meeting, although you see me now and I don't shut up, at the first meeting, I don't speak at all. It's only the customer. It's only what his pains, his challenges, why he approached. Because if you think about it, it's not on the top of his mind all day long, right? I need to talk with a commercial vendor about something. He made an exceptional effort to come and speak with me. He probably got it approved, pre-approved, because many of them can't talk with commercial vendors without approvals. And he set up time and he came to talk to me, and I need to listen. And only when he feels that I really hear him and I listen to what he has to say and I acknowledge his challenges and I say, listen, I'm not just, Cognyte has multiple solutions or multiple products, but I'm not, pushing the products. I'm saying, listen, I hear your challenge. I think maybe one of our solutions can do that, and another one of our solutions can do something else. And maybe the combination, maybe I'm not selling you specific products and, good luck with that. I'm selling you a solution to a specific challenge that you're discussing. And in some cases, I also said, listen, we don't have the solution for that. Or either there is no solution for that, that's also an issue, or we don't have it, we don't do it. It's very hard to say, we don't have it, go to another place, but I would rather feel that confidence and that trust. And when he will have an actual need on something that I can provide, he can trust me. I think trust is a bigger issue in B2G than in B2C, of course, because, you bought Nike one day, you're not satisfied, you'll buy Adidas. That's fine, nobody cares. Nike doesn't care, Adidas doesn't care. But if you're buying a software for hundreds of thousands or millions, you care.
Right.
You care because that's your annual spend. Maybe it's your 3 years spending ahead. You want to make sure that the company that is selling is the best of what it does and it's dependable. They're not gonna go away. They will support you. The customer success is always with you. And whenever there is an issue, a technical issue, somebody will solve it in a timely manner. So I think that's the difference.
So my last question today is I just want to build upon the idea of trust in marketing. Can you share some, elements, some key takeaways of what really helps you to build that trust in the marketing process?
I think we're not, if you're trying to push a product too aggressively, it will push them away. Because unlike maybe other sectors or other domains, as I said, they're not always in a buying mood. In some cases, they're seeing something in their feed and they're saying, listen, I just finished my work. I have, 30, 45 minutes. I'll read something, okay? And if it's too aggressive, it's, read the ebook on why Cognyte is the best company in the world. You lost them. They want to gain value. And I think a lot of our content is ungated. It's ungated. And even when it's gated, the only thing that I'm asking for is email. No, I'm not, I don't want your ID. I don't want your credit card. I just want your email because I want to send you more materials, more collateral. And I think that's part of the trust. We implemented, for example, interactive demos in our website. Now, the point of interactive demos is that they don't need to speak with anyone. They can go in independently, click through the system, have some, explanations, but it's their own. The trust comes from the transparency. The trust comes from me giving actual value in my content to the audience. And the trust comes from that even when they ask for a meeting, I'm not coming, with two account managers and trying to, shove it down their throat. I'm adjusting, or I'm trying to adjust myself to the real need. And I think once you do that, trust will come.
Lastly, can you share ways we can follow up with you in Cognyte and learn a little bit more?
Of course. So Cognyte is present on LinkedIn and on X, Twitter. I'm not always sure how to call it, but on
I still
X
say Twitter.
Yeah. So I'll go with you. So on Twitter and LinkedIn, Cognyte, Cognyte. And my name is Omer Frenkel. I'm also present mostly on LinkedIn, but also some on Twitter. And any of our listeners or people who are watching are also from the governmental sector, you usually don't approach them, but feel free to come to our website to see the content that we're publishing. As I said, no strings attached. You can read whatever you want. And if you find it interesting, if you find it touching the right pain points that you're struggling with in your day-to-day job, I'll be more than happy to talk with you. Again, no strings attached. I won't take all of your credentials and info, and we can have a nice talk about your needs and challenges.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Andrew.